What up, everybody? Josh Samuel here. Thank you all so much once again for tuning in. Now, with season 3 of The Man Without Fear set to premiere this week, I decided today that I'd review season 2 of Jessica Jones. If all goes as planned, I'll bring back my reactions starting next week, but I can't say for certain that next week is when I'll start them. Like the old saying of ladies first, the Defender Jessica Jones started off the year 2018 for the Defenders back in March, and at the time I was very eager to see where Jessica and Alias Investigations went next. Season 1 of Jessica Jones is, in my opinion, one of the best things Marvel Netflix has done, and that is in large part due to David Tennant's turn as Kilgrave. I also appreciated how in the first season Jessica Jones dealt with some very mature and real topics like PTSD, rape, and making it all revolve around Jessica in one way or another. But anyway, enough about season 1. Season 2 of Jessica Jones finds Jessica in a similar place with her neighbor Malcolm occasionally assisting her from time to time. We see characters like Trish and Jerry Hogarth play a somewhat more significant role in this season than they did in the first, and that's one thing that I can give season 2 credit for. Season 2 gives its supporting cast a lot of time to shine, and Malcolm himself emerges as one of the standouts, even when he sometimes gets his ass kicked. His steamy relationship with Trish was seemingly out of nowhere, and honestly it was kind of awkward. But then again, Trish herself was kind of awkward in season 2. Aside from wanting to be just like her sister Jess, she decides to engage in some Simpson-like activities, and needless to say, this is not always a good thing. But once again, through and through, even when shit hits the fan, Malcolm seemingly is always there to help, even when it's completely stupid for him to do so. With Luke Cage doing his own thing in Harlem, Jessica seemingly also finds a new love interest in the form of Oscar, who is basically a single dad, and also Jessica's neighbor. I'll admit that Jessica is far better paired with Luke, and this is one thing that I'll give the Netflix casting folk credit for. And as for Christian Ritter, well, what else can a guy say? Christian Ritter is in fact Jessica Jones for a reason, and like Mike Coulter, Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, and John Bernthal, she completely immerses herself in the role. Aside from her loudmouth sarcastic antics combined with her drinking habit, season 2 continues to show that Jessica does in fact care about the people around her, even though she doesn't always show it in the best of ways. Arguably the biggest surprise of season 2 is the reveal of Jessica's mother making her appearance, and quick exit in the finale thanks to Jessica's sister Trish going fuck the popo with the gun. I wasn't too fond of this decision for season 2 because to me ultimately it took away from the story, but it does leave Trish, Jessica, and Malcolm in a very puzzling place in terms of relationships for season 3. It seems that Jessica and Trish will be at odds, and Malcolm has in fact turned to the dark side thanks to Jerry Hogarth. I guess the one question I was left with from season 2 of Jessica Jones is, did Jessica bring this all on herself? Is Jessica ultimately the reason for all the things in her life going rampant the way that they did? Now, needless to say, season 2 definitely does do a lot this season in my opinion, and continues to get a rave performance from Christian Ritter as the title of character. I mean, the few Alias comics that I did read back in 2015 in prep for Jessica Jones' debut, because before then I didn't know who the fuck she was, but the few that I read back in 2015 and watching Jessica Jones, I'm like, this is pretty much a perfect casting. And you know, with all the good, even with all the good that season 2 brought about, and the question marks left at the end of the season that will obviously no doubt be addressed come season 3, season 2 doesn't always hit the same amount of highs like its predecessor season 1 did, in my opinion, at least for me. And needless to say, David Tennant, the guy that played Kilgrave, his presence is sorely missed, even with the surprise cameo that we do get. But still, while I don't necessarily favor 2 over 1, Jessica Jones season 2 manages to get the job done, and definitely manages to make its supporting characters a bit more interesting heading into season 3.